All information in this video is my own personal view, even where backed up by evidence. None of this is financial advice, but I highly recommend everyone does their own research before buying or selling cryptocurrency or any other asset. Just bringing you another Kaspa video and going to discuss a couple other points as well. The Rusty progress is going really well. Currently 10% of blocks being processed on Rusty, which is quite a significant move in the short space of time that's been available. Obviously this means that Kaspa will be moving from 1 blocks to 10 blocks and eventually all the way up to 100 blocks per second. We'll have the KRC20 native smart contracts on Kaspa, this being brought to us by the Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, which will be the Jonathan Sompolinsky-led smart contracts that should be MEV resistant, which would be a complete game changer. Obviously stable coins, DeFi, meme coins and everything else you can imagine would be available on Kaspa at that point. Dagnite will also be introduced, which is creating a complete game changer in regards to network performance. I believe that this will cement Kaspa as the fastest, most efficient technology in the crypto space, not just now, but for the future. If you're not holding Kaspa, I mean, what are you really doing in crypto? You should definitely be filling up on a bit of Kaspa. It's not financial advice, it's just my own personal opinion when you compare technology of each different coin that's available, what they promise, what they actually achieve. You know, Kaspa does what it says it will do. What the developers say they're going to bring, they bring. There's no infighting at Kaspa, it's just progress. You know, be bold, be bullish, and rock the Kaspa. Here's another point I just wanted to bring up. I've previously mentioned about Ethereum looking at Kaspa as a means of fixing problems with it. But were you aware that 9 years ago, approximately, Vitalik was saying about bringing in the technology from Kaspa? At that point, it was Aviv and Jonathan had developed sort of the fundamental bare bones parts of what would be early days Kaspa. For whatever reason, Ethereum didn't introduce it, and as we know, they've just got into a complete horrific state with that network. The fees are unbelievable. It's not getting better anytime soon. The move from proof of work to proof of stake didn't fix anything. It was just a very silly thing for them to have done, and perhaps they should have listened to Jonathan right in the early stages of Ethereum. Interestingly though, if you look at the XRP white paper, even this references the early Kaspa technology as being the preferred choice. Whether they opted for what Ethereum had, even though Ethereum had said before that this wasn't right and they should have adopted the various parts of Kaspa back then. So why would anybody decide to use inferior technology when that inferior technology has already said the other technology is superior and they should have used it? I mean, if you're doing any research into cryptocurrency projects and looking to invest for not just short term but long term, why would you invest in something that purposely chose inferior technology? I can only speculate that the people that keep shilling these poor projects, they only do so because they need you to buy the coins to push the price up so they can try and get out at break even or perhaps a bit of profit. And they are desperate to do this, which is why barely anybody talks about Kaspa, but they all talk about XRP and other rubbish coins that literally have no real purpose or future. I mean, the amount of lies and misinformation out there about other coins and their usefulness and potential for the future, it's just hot air. There's no real evidence for the majority of what they say. However, you just look at anything in regards to Kaspa and you can see what they claim, they achieve. And quite often what they bring to the table is far advanced in regards to what you were expecting to come to the table. Technology-wise, I can't see anything that's coming close to Kaspa. I mean, at this point in time, I personally believe Kaspa is extremely undervalued. Currently in its existing state, it could easily be over $1 a coin. With the upcoming releases and the furthering of the migration from Golang to Rusty, it just emphasises how Kaspa continuously builds and refines itself. Other projects talk the talk, but have only used inferior technology to build themselves while trying to convince the public they're worth any value. Just remember, if it walks like a Ponzi, talks like a Ponzi, it's very likely a Ponzi. So please don't invest in Ponzis. It's plain and simple. Do your research, and if you're unsure, research further. Don't just blindly ape into coins. Even with my firm belief that Kaspa is far superior to everything else on the table, I still stress that you need to do your own research. Investigate the websites, investigate the social medias, get on the Discord, look at what is actually happening, look at what they achieve. Compare it to other projects, then come back and say, right, who does what they say they'll do? Who doesn't achieve what they say they will do? Then you know where you should be putting your money. I mean, it seems as though the Kaspa development team, not just the ones that are working with the community, but those that are working, say, with the Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, which again works for the community, but it's separate to the existing entity that's been there with the Kaspa community, funded by the community from day one. They all seem to be 50, perhaps 100 or more steps ahead of where we believe they would be. Which isn't a bad thing, it's a really good thing, because it just shows that not only are we, the community, looking towards the future and trying to help build towards it, but the developers have already thought about what we're thinking about. And they are thinking further ahead. They may even already have plans or early stages of development in the works for things in the following year or years to come. It's hard to gauge just how much technology is potentially being developed within Kaspa and parallel to Kaspa to be brought in once Rusty is the only nodal infrastructure on the network. I mean, the future is just very bright for Kaspa. I am a firm believer it will be up there in the top 3. No reason why it couldn't be number 1, number 2 overall in the world of crypto. At the very least, I think the community firmly believe Kaspa is number 1, regardless of where its position actually is. They view it as number 1 because of what it does, what it will achieve, and everything that's happened in the eyes of the community in regards to the development team just do what they need to do. There's no fighting, there's no dramas. Kaspa just does what Kaspa needs to do. So as I say, I highly advise do some research into Kaspa. I think you will also agree that Kaspa is superior and a wise investment. But if you are, like myself and quite a few other people, and you are either holding Kaspa or supporting Kaspa in one way or another, just take a moment to pat yourself on the back. But can you also just take a moment to thank the development team and the wider community that supports Kaspa and all that aim to propel it beyond anybody's wildest dreams? Thank you.